December 2018, and welcome to episode 7 of Nema Outpost, a monthly Star Wars podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brittany.
I'm DJ.
And as you may have noticed, we did not have a November episode, just because we were just way too busy. Life.
And there wasn't much news going around anyway. So
well, there kind of was, because, I'm on Tumblr, and so there's always stuff going on Tumblr.
Well, thanks for ruining the complete intro of this. The idea is that there wasn't much.
Well, I want to be honest and transparent.
But there wasn't much.
Okay, there wasn't much. And also life happened, and it was Thanksgiving, and we meant to do an episode, we just couldn't do it. So this is our late November, early December episode, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, we'll have an episode before Christmas.
Yes.
That's the plan. So let's start with the news for this month, which was actually announced last month, but I still think it's relevant to talk about, is that Disney announced they're going to have a second live-action TV show on their Disney Plus streaming service, which debuts next year, and it's going to be a show about Cassian Andor from Rogue One. So apparently the show is obviously has to be a prequel to Rogue One. You really
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you put a sequel to it. But according to the article from TheVerge.com, it says that it's just going to follow the character of Cassian Andor. So there's also been rumors that like Princess Leia might be in it because it's like, Rogue One era. So what are your thoughts about the live action like Cassian Andor Rogue One show?
My first question is, when does Jimmy Smits get cast to continue his role as Bail Organa?
Oh my god. Jimmy Smits should be in. I mean, what else is Jimmy Smits up to?
Not much, so he definitely gets in. But what I actually think about a Cassian Andor story?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure they'll make it fun because they gotta make it like Han Solo-esque, right?
They have to. Han Solo.
Well, you don't know anything about him.
I mean,
he didn't really come. I mean, he had some character development, but just I don't feel like.
Wait, are you telling me that you didn't know anything about any of the 6 main characters in Rogue One?
There were 6 of them?
Yeah, I think. There's Jin, Cassian, Baz, Chirrut, Bodhi, and okay, maybe there was 5.
There's 5 in the robot.
Oh, him, yeah, 6. So K2SO. So
I gotta
6.
be honest with you. The fact that you nailed all 6 of their names, really impressive. I think you liked that movie.
No, I don't like that movie.
I think you liked it.
I do not like that movie.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, so they'll make it. They can make it exciting, I'm sure, because they could just take from the Han Solo playbook and go with that.
And honestly, I guess out of all the characters you could choose, like imagine having a show on Jin.
Probably, I could see that being more interesting.
I mean,
more of a drama though, not more of like action.
Like it would definitely be a drama. Like I'd like to know, like if they had Jin, it would be interesting to see her as like a kid growing up with like Saw Gerrera and everything. But I guess
no wonder they didn't go that direction.
Yeah, but I guess like if you can't do Jin, then you're gonna like Cassian makes the next best choice. Like
now remind me, Cassian was a general in the army, right? Or captain.
Captain, yeah. Yes, he's captain.
So he's gonna just be defending things for the period of time.
Well, we kind of know in Rogue One that he's like disenchanted with the Rebel Alliance at this point, and then like it takes Jin getting him back into it because rebellions are built on hope.
Anyway, I'm gonna just ignore those 2 quotes that you just said. But it's got to be further back because they're going to have a lot of character interaction. And if
I don't know how we don't have any details. I don't know how farther back it's going to be.
Well, it's got to be far enough back that Jin's not involved.
Rogue One took place over the course of like a day.
Right.
So it can be like the day before.
Just the show's on the day before this started?
Just the day before he meets Jin.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna,
I say it's probably the 6 months leading up to.
If you're gonna work on a property that you have that hasn't been developed at all, there you go.
Well,
so you're not gonna tread over the same water.
What I've heard that I think is interesting, that I would really love this, is because they're probably not gonna make a sequel to Solo, just because of the box office, but that maybe if they go back further enough, because Solo's kind of close to Rogue One, a couple years out, that you could have Kira and Darth Maul in it. And that I would like, because I really like Kira's character. Like, the more I think about Solo, I'm like, she was probably the best part for me because there was so much potential with her character that they didn't really explore. So I would love if, like, she could pop up somehow. You know, it's a way to kind of connect it and have a little bit of the Solo sequel that we'll never get in this show. So, I don't know.
It's actually too bad. I kind of wish that did have a sequel.
I did too. Like, especially...
I feel like they did set some interesting items up.
Especially, like, I would have especially liked to know more about Kira, just because that whole, it's implied things happening with her, but I would have liked more of it. But as for the Cassian Andor show, we'll just call it the Cassian Andor show.
Sounds like some late night programming.
Again, these live action shows, I mean, I'm gonna watch The Mandalorian only because I feel like it's in a part of the Star Wars timeline that hasn't been super explored. I think at this point we've kind of covered the post New Hope or post Revenge of the Sith pre New Hope era a lot, and I didn't really like Rogue One, so I'm not really excited for this. But who knows? I'll check it out. Maybe watch an episode, see if it's interesting. It's probably going to be a mini series, just like The Mandalorian is, so that's fine by me. All right, so we also have some news on Galaxy's Edge at Disney World. It's supposed to come out in fall of 2019, and DJ has some updates.
Well, okay, so to be clear, the fall 2019 is for Disney World. Summer 2019 will be for Disneyland. So those nice West Coasters get to have a first view of it. Now, as we all know, the big e-ticket attraction is going to be the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. That's been pretty much discussed many times over. A lot of the locations, I believe this is... Well, I think this is at Disneyland that... Oh no, I'm sorry, Disney World. I apologize. Pictures that the Millennium Falcon is already constructed and ready to go. So they're just going to be going forward with the other things. One of the items that was announced, additional ride, is the Rise of the Resistance, which I'll give all the credits to all the websites in a moment because I'm piecing things together. So what they mentioned about Rise of the Resistance is that it will be essentially guests being able to join in a battle between the First Order and the Resistance, including a face-off with Kylo Ren. And that is as per Florida Today, but as per Deseret News, they mentioned that the Rise of the Resistance will be on a First Order ship. So that kind of changes the perspective of what we're going to be seeing.
Huh.
So it also by it being on a First Order ship, that tells me it's more of a ride and less of a, you know how at Hollywood Studios they had those events where they did the Jedi training and it'd be outside?
Right, yeah.
By being on a First Order ship, it makes me think it's more of an attraction rather than just a something going on stage.
Now, given that the parks are going to open in 2019, summer in Disneyland, fall in Disney World, do you think that there's going to be any, it's going to connect to Episode 9 in some way?
That's a good point.
Because I'm thinking if
the park itself,
if the Rise of the Resistance is on the First Order ship, is that hinting that there's going to be it might hint at something that happens in 9, essentially?
It could. I mean, the title Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Because do they infiltrate a First Order ship?
That very well could be. Maybe they are doing something like that, but there's only one way to find out. I mean, I guess...
Wait till December 2019.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I wonder if that would give away something that's going on.
I don't think it would give super spoilers, but it might hint at... It might have a location.
It might mirror something.
Yeah.
Maybe what actually happens on the ride doesn't exactly match the movie, but maybe the fact that they go on a ship and you kind of get that feel like, this is episode 9-ish. So that's that. I didn't notice that, but that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And it was previously mentioned on our podcast or not, but John Williams and the London Symphony Orchestra is creating a brand new soundtrack just for the park. So it'll be original Star Wars-esque inspired music for the park itself.
Right, and as far as I've heard, this is supposed to be John Williams' last involvement with Star Wars music, because Episode 9 is going to be the last film that he scores, the last Star Wars film he scores. And I assume that this would sort of wrap that up for him a bit.
Yeah, that would make sense, yes.
Yeah. To add to the park news, there's a really cool bit of news that I want to talk about because I don't know about you, but owning a real lightsaber is amazing. So, this is from an article from Sci-Fi Wire, and it says, according to Walt Disney World News Today, Disney has filed a patent application for something that bears the name Sword Device with Retractable Internally Illuminated Blade. We don't know about you, but it sounds a lot like a lightsaber. So the article goes on to talk about how, and this is a quote from the article, the new and improved toy, a more elegant toy for a more civilized age, will work something like a motorized tape measure, according to Walt Disney World News Today, who also shows off drawings from the patent application. One press of a button will make the blade extend, with LED lighting inside. The blade will be able to retract in the same way that it extends, and the classic sound effects would, of course, be part of the experience. We'll likely keep making them with our mouths, though. So, we were discussing this a little bit before we actually started recording. This is probably going to be expensive. I don't know how expensive.
Well, okay, so what we were discussing before we started the podcast today was Brittany was very excited.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to buy one. And I can understand why. But I've never been to Universal Studios' magical wizarding world of Harry Potter, or whatever it's truly called.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
That was pretty close then. But I asked her, so what do the wands cost? There at the park, apparently, they have much more realistic wands, and the wands can do things. What can they actually do in the park?
Okay, so you can customize the wand. So basically, you can go to Ollivander's, you get a wand customized to you. You can get a character's wand, so any of the characters from the movies or books. And there's also, I think, places in the park where you can use your wands to perform magic. So I think that costs more. So I think it depends what type of wand you get. So there's a range of prices, I believe.
Okay.
But I think when I went there, again, I went there when the park, first opened, so there wasn't, the second half of it. So I don't know if the prices have changed, but they were pretty expensive. They could be around $80, depending on what type of wand you get. So that's probably about $100
now. And so that lightsaber could definitely be in the $100 to $200 range. But it depends. If it's for kids, it might be a little bit different.
But this one sounds awesome because it actually extends, and it's not like the cheap plastic ones.
Well, the thing is, though, I would expect if it actually extends
and retracts.
Well, yeah, okay, extends and retracts on its own, or with the press of a button, let's say. Is that going to be a more high-end item, or is that going to be a kid's item?
I think it's going to be a high-end item.
I feel like that's more towards the high-end item, because I was thinking, okay, with the kids, you got to go more with durability. Yeah. Because they're just going to be swinging that thing and hitting things.
We have the Disney Store lightsabers. I have Rey's, he has Kylo's, and those are durable, and you can actually fight with them.
Yes.
But...
And win.
What I want to know, are these going to be customizable? Are we going to be able to get certain colors we want?
I would imagine if it's
Can we get the characters ones?
If it's that high end, it's going to be after you go through Star Tours, and at the end you could pretty much build your own lightsaber with any of the.
So I can get a cross guard.
I would imagine so. It's probably going to cost you a little extra. Because really, actually, that's going to cost a lot more. Think about it, because it's going to have the two extenders on the outside. Yeah, that's going to be your $200 item right there.
Yeah, the crossguard saber.
So yeah, just go with the legacy saber to save yourself a lot of money.
That's not as fun.
Well, okay, then you get Darth Maul's. It'll be the same price.
No.
That's because they're definitely going to do that too. They're definitely going to have the double lightsaber.
Who knows? Well, okay, so we're going to discuss episode 9 rumors in a minute, but there's still a possibility Rey could possibly get a double-sided lightsaber, so maybe...
Yeah, I think you could put that rumor to bed.
We don't know.
I think you could put that rumor to bed.
Alright, well...
Anyway.
Speaking...
Because the significance of that staff is now highly in question.
Well, yeah, so... Speaking of episode 9...
So this is the heart of our discussion today.
Right. So, there's obviously Reddit. Reddit is just,
You take it as it is.
Yeah. So, allegedly, there's been a Reddit rumor going around, and the reason why people are taking this rumor seriously is because this user allegedly got some stuff about Infinity War right, so they were like, oh, so this guy has some credibility to him. So, Making Star Wars published an article with the Reddit leaks, or the Reddit rumors, because I don't know if leaks, if it's actually a leak, or if it's just speculation.
Let's call it a rumor.
So the article's called "Does Kylo Ren Wear a Helmet and Does BB-8 Get a New Sidekick in Star Wars Episode 9?" So just be aware, this could be spoiler territory depending on if this actually happens or not. So, basically in terms of the Reddit leaks, this is what the article says on Making Star Wars. It says, in Star Wars Last Jedi, we see Kylo Ren degraded by Supreme Leader Snoke. He lifts him up by telling him with his bloodline he saw the potential for a new Vader. Snoke looks at his helmet and says, take that ridiculous thing off. So then, throughout the rest of the film, we see him, he smashes the helmet, and he kind of, casts it aside. But, apparently, now that he is Supreme Leader in Episode 9, he is going to wear a mask. The same mask, it could be a different mask. So, allegedly...
The Reddit rumors state that the mask is repaired. The original mask has gotten some repairs. Some poorly done repairs.
Right. So he took the pieces, and allegedly the Reddit rumor says that it's pieced together with red adhesive tape or some red adhesive. Making Star Wars doesn't think that he's gonna wear the mask for all that long, which I wouldn't suspect he would either. Now, this is some people, at least on Tumblr, they were worried oh gosh, if he has the mask on, it means he's done, he's gonna be evil, but I think because it's a broken mask and putting it together, that it's going to serve as a metaphor for Kylo's state of mind at that point in the story.
That also goes in line with this article that was written by Cinema Blend, stating that they feel like they feel that they have the direction of where Rey is going, and then the rumor is that Rey will repair Luke's. They say the article is called Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, but we know it as a legacy saber. So if she's back on board with this, with going after the legacy saber, and he's been repairing his mask, that kind of leads us to believe that
they're on the extremes right now.
They're on the extremes again.
Right. So we saw that at the end, they kind of, at the end of Last Jedi, they kind of retreated there. It was they had a moment where they were supposed to, the Force was almost pushing them, being yeah, you guys are going to work together and create something new. But then they were this is too scary. No, boom, we're going to the extremes.
Right.
So, after the rejection in Throne Room, Kylo's well, I got nothing left. I'm the Supreme Leader. And she's just well, I'm the Last Jedi. So, yeah, they're at the very... I feel at the beginning of the movie, we're going to see them in these extreme roles. So, Kylo piecing together the mask, trying to be the quote-unquote monster that everybody believes he is. And
that Rey believes he is.
That Rey believes he is, that his family believes he is, that he thinks he is. But it also reflects, he's a broken person, and he is not going to be Supreme Leader for that long in the movie at all. I don't think that he's going to last long. So it kind of shows he's trying to embrace the darkness, but is failing, and he's, falling apart. And Rey's going to be all I have the Jedi books, I repaired the legacy saber.
So, another thought, since Last Jedi did not encompass this, and some of the rumors are saying a year has passed since The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Part of the mask being the idea that maybe he killed his mom?
I don't think he killed her. I don't think he's going to kill her.
Well, no, I guess... Well, he doesn't know... Okay, as far as Kylo Ren knows, does he know she's dead?
I think he could feel her through the Force.
I was gonna say the same thing too, but I guess my thought was that, he shot the ship in The Last Jedi, they had that connection, and she was put in that comatose state. I would imagine he would know she died, but the thing is...
I think he knew it. See, people have speculated on that.
But ultimately, whether that killed her or she just died of natural causes, which I'm sure that's what the movie's going to do. They're just going to kind of throw that away because there's not much you can do.
Or Hux kills her.
Wasn't there that rumor that they were going to use old footage or something like that?
Well, no, that was in the press release that they're using old footage from Force Awakens and possibly Last Jedi.
But that could be flashbacks.
Well, yeah, but we talked about how it's probably going to be Hux with a coup, staging a coup, and a way to get Kylo really emotionally compromised is kill Leia, and also completely turn the whole Resistance and Rey against him by doing that, but he has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So,
I guess my thought was that that could have been also a reason why he went back to the mask, was because he kind of felt like he was a monster, because he thinks that he killed.
Right, and I also think it's kind of, it'll be interesting because the time we see in The Last Jedi, he's like on his knees and like really a broken person, and it like reflects the fact, like, not like, you know, when Vader walked in Return of the Jedi, he had like a sleek new costume, his mask was like shining, he had this cape, he had silver accents, he was like the man. Can you imagine Supreme Leader Kylo walking around with a shattered mask being like, hey guys, I tried to piece it together, I'm Supreme Leader, like,
that's pretty much what he is though at this point.
and everybody's gonna be like, oh
Michelle,
boy, you need help. Like,
yeah.
My question is, so the mask is gonna have to come off at some point, and I don't think he's gonna wear it for that long. If the Force connection with him and Rey still lasts, is it gonna, like, he's gonna wear his mask through it and being like, I'm not talking to you right now, or is she gonna take it off during the Force thing? Is he gonna take it off in front of her? Because she's the only person he's ever taken the mask off of in front of. So
that's a good point.
I could see him being like, Hut, you shut the door on me, I'm not talking to you. She could be like, well, and like pulling the mask off. Who knows? But I don't think he's gonna wear it the whole movie like he did The Force Awakens. I don't think you can go back to that point now where it's like,
no, it's a facade. It's a facade. That's what it is. If that is the case, that's just a facade, and it will just be used to identify pretty much he's a shell of himself, and this mask isn't really doing a great job of holding up.
Just like he's not doing a great job. And I think that if we go with the whole thing, I think after he's like in hiding or gets run out or whatever, the mask is gonna go. As for Rey with the lightsaber, you know, I get the idea, like, she's trying to piece it back together, but I almost feel like I don't think she's gonna have that saber throughout the whole movie. I still am sticking to the fact that she's gonna have the staff saber. I feel like,
well, I mean, if they go back to,
I feel like now that she reforges the saber, that doesn't mean it's gonna be exactly the same. Everybody's taking the thing, oh, she reforges it, it's just gonna be exactly the same. She could
what do you assume to reforge mean?
Okay, so we think about Rey as a scavenger. She's someone who takes old things, puts them together to create something new. I could see, okay, reforging it by creating a new saber out of it. Not the exact same replica of it, but it sticks with this metaphor, this idea that the Skywalker legacy and reshaping it to her own identity.
There's a difference between reforging and salvaging.
Well, we have to think, because these are rumors, though, people may not, like, have the right wording for it.
Well, I'm just saying, when I see reforge, I take that to mean repair. Rather than salvage, which would mean, I've got a couple of parts here, I'm a scavenger. If that is the case, then salvage would work. Because that does seem to be more the person that she is.
Well, I don't know where I heard this. I don't know if it was in a comic or one of the creators on Twitter said that the Kyber crystal in the Legacy Saber was destroyed. It was cut in half. So that makes me think that maybe this rumor isn't even true in the fact that, like, if one of the creators, somebody involved in the film said that it was cut in half. So the crystal was broken. So you can't exactly reforge the same lightsaber with that. If she's got the piece of it, you can make two separate sabers. You make it a staff saber. Two separate blades. Taking the old legacy and reforging, creating something new out of it. I still stand by it because the whole
staff saber has got to be really a lot different than what her staff shows, because her staff is her height. And if I had two lightsaber blades on that, it's a very unbalanced.
I think they'll redesign it, but I do think that this whole trilogy is about her finding her identity. She thinks she should be a part of this old, you know, the whole Jedi thing, but she's creating something new. Her and Kylo are going to create something new. Let the past die. You know, bring new order to the galaxy. You know, just saying. So, the other rumor, and it's not even really, like, that significant, is that BB-8 may be getting a sidekick in Episode 9.
Not to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off. Is he not a sidekick already?
He is a sidekick. So it
then
says...
how does a sidekick get a sidekick?
Well, just like Neopets got pets. Neopets got pets.
Okay, you're right. That's enough for me.
It's true. So apparently, the droid is named Dio. Or Dio, or something like that. Yeah, something like that. It says, the Reddit poster and this is from the Making Star Wars article, Reddit poster compared to a megaphone, and that also rings true. It's sort of an ugly duckling idea and BB-8 is like a parent to the droid and very attached to him. I don't know how I feel about this because I'm like, why do we need... Like, this character may not be important. Remember, allegedly, BB-9E was going to be a significant character. A friggin' pop figure of BB-9E thinking he was going to be Kylo's droid, and it wasn't even true.
He was very important. He saw right through the BB-8 facade and got them captured. Because he's such a smart little droid that's a waste of time. No. I'm sorry. BB-9 was not. So hopefully Dio, whatever the heck this thing's name is,
we have BB-8.
Rides a Rainbow in Dark Out.
Question is, who will own the droid?
Who cares? If it's an ugly duckling, it's probably disowned or owned by Jawas or something like that. Still,
I think Jawas would own droids.
Yeah, of course, and then they sell them. I mean, own them.
That they would own them and treat them like their own family, and then be like, "Oh, we're selling you for money."
Oh no one treats them as family.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Poe treats BB-8 as family.
Do we really want to talk about Poe Dameron? Do we want to talk about what Kevin Smith said?
Oh yes, we should mention. So Kevin Smith. Because I feel like the guy is really doing a job in the Star Wars universe, but no one's given it to him yet.
Because he doesn't want to he wants to stop working on his original
because
projects.
It requires him to move the camera, which is something that he doesn't really do in his movies.
Well, he and George Lucas do the same things.
It's true.
Drink your coffee, look at the screens.
So, Kevin visited the set of Episode 9, and he said that J.J. Abrams is doing amazing work, that he saw one of the biggest Star Wars sets he's ever seen, but the most significant thing he said was that someone gave performance and it made him cry. Now, everybody's really thinking, on Tumblr we're speculating, it's it could really be one of two people. It's either Mark Hamill or Adam Driver as Luke or Kylo, because they're the ones that have to carry the most weight in the story, but the thing with Luke is, he's probably not going to be in it that much. He's a host. So if anyone's going to make a career-defining performance, it's probably going to be Adam Driver, because...
I disagree. It doesn't have to be Adam Driver.
You have to have a career to have a career-defining performance.
All the people in this film have a career. And...
Well, okay, Daisy Much. This was her first movie.
No. Okay, and neither is John Boyega.
But I don't think that... Okay, so I could see maybe Daisy Ridley, but I don't think anybody else's storylines are going to be as emotionally demanding as Rey and Kylo's.
For you. Because you're more Reylo.
Well, no, because they're also the protagonists. So...
I agree, but you know who's a very popular character for the fans? No, I'm being honest here. Gosh, the guy's name escapes. No, not Finn. No, not John Boyega. Yeah, what's sorry, Oscar Isaac. It's very possible, and the guy has had a career already.
Let's be honest.
Did he not get nominated for Inside Llewyn Davis?
He did.
Oh, that's right. So this guy, incredibly enough, in your entire roster that you have of returning actors, the most accomplished in terms of the Academy.
Okay, but Poe's character is not...
Could do something.
I don't think that's who
Kevin
Smith
Smith
is referring to. I don't think that's who Kevin Smith is referring to.
You don't know that, though. And if you're going to say... Think about who Kevin Smith is. Think about what he said about certain Star Wars movies in the past.
I don't think that... I get what you're saying, that Oscar Isaac, he can act, but I don't think Poe is going to have to carry emotional weight like that he's going to have to, make Kevin Smith cry. And again, how hard is it to make Kevin Smith cry?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what kind of substances he were on at the time either. But it's significant that Poe Dameron could do.
I will put money on it now that that's not what made Kev cry. It's Poe Dameron. He's not going to make anybody cry. He just makes me roll my eyes and grit my teeth.
I will go on that bet.
All right. There we go.
I bet that if we ever find out the news that Poe Dameron is the character that makes Kevin Smith cry. Right.
So the character that says, General hugs and makes your mama jokes is going to be the one that makes Kevin Smith cry. Okay. And not the one who's going to wear a broken mask and is a broken shell of a person. And not the one who is, coming to terms with the fact that her parents just dumped her off and sold her for alcohol. for booze.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure what alcohol was, so thank you for clarifying as booze.
Or who's like, I was taken from my parents, and I was kind of brainwashed, and now I'm trying to like be a hero and everything.
See that? Okay, actually, he said career-defining performance was the quote. Then it definitely is not Mark Hamill, because he's had a long enough career. Mm-hmm. You gotta think of the younger people in this cast.
So it definitely could. I don't think it's gonna be Poe Dameron.
But the thing is, career-defining performance could really mean not that much when you think about it. I mean, what has the woman who played Rose done in terms of her career?
It's true. That's her first.
So if she does something that's really incredible, there's your career-defining performance.
It's true.
Because she hasn't had much of a track record.
But usually when that term is used, it's referring to someone who's had like a long career or has done a significant amount of stuff.
Right. Which leaves two people. Not just one. Because Oscar Isaac has done something significant.
It could it could be three if it is Luke, but I think
it's
Luke's movie was The Last Jedi.
No, because it wouldn't be career defining. He has had a long enough career. Mark Hamill has done so many different things, and you're telling me that his career defining performance is going to be in episode 9?
It was in 8. That's what everybody says. He gave his best performance in 8.
Okay, but let's be honest. I assume career defining to me was like iconic almost. Like his iconic moment.
That's also why it's going to be Kylo.
You don't know that though. You don't know that. You're thinking that because that's an easier plot to pick. But you don't know what Poe Dameron's doing. And I can't tell you what Poe Dameron's doing.
Next year we're going to go back to this podcast and after we see the movie I'm going to be like, did cry? No, he made you cringe. Because again, this is the same person who disliked the beginning of The Last Jedi because of the jokes that Poe was involved with.
Listen, I'm not saying about. What I'm saying is you're talking about career-defining performance, and he is an Academy Award nominee.
Well, you know who's a Golden Globe nominee now?
Well, not for Star Wars, but yes.
Well, neither was Poe Dameron.
I recognize that. But what I'm saying is...
He was inside Llewyn Davis.
Too many connotations. Continue on that for this family program.
Yes.
But I think it's possible. Also, we don't... so he said, cry. We don't know what that means either.
He said it was beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's why I'm saying also, it's got to be Kylo.
So you held that information back, but I still, you know what? I think it's. You can't rule out.
I can't out, but I can very much say it's not going to happen. There's a very slim chance.
We never discussed this though. So what do you think? I don't think either one of us discussed our predictions. What is Poe Dameron doing this entire time?
We did talk about this. We talked about this. He's going to be the antagonist. That he's going to be like radical and extreme.
Oh, that's right.
Like he and Hux are going to be at like...
I apologize. My brain's not on.
That's okay. It's been a while. But hey, you know what? Whenever we get the trailer, and there's been some rumors about that. Some people say that we're going to get it before Christmas. Others say it's going to be the Super Bowl. I'm still sticking with...
The Super Bowl doesn't make no sense whatsoever.
And now people are thinking because Avengers got a title with the trailer, like, are they going to wait to that point? I'm like... If they drop the teaser at Celebration, they're not going to wait to do the trailer, the title then, because they won't have the title for the panel. So they're going to do it beforehand. And I'm holding out for a new order.
Okay, you've said that multiple times. Why do you need the title for the panel?
Because that's been the precedent that they've had.
But that doesn't make much sense. Why would you need it for the panel?
That's just the precedent, so...
You're going to need that title?
Just they don't call it the Episode 9 panel?
Yeah, well, that's going to stop you from going?
No, it's not going to stop me from going, but...
That's going to stop anybody from going?
I
will not go. They haven't announced the title of the movie yet.
I'm hoping that we'll probably get the title. I mean, who knows? I could be completely wrong in the whole release pattern and be like, yeah, we'll give you a teaser by Christmas, but I don't think so, because then until February.
No. We're not going to... You're right.
I think we're going to get a title February when they start. March the list. Definitely before Celebration, but we'll drop the teaser.
I'd say a couple weeks before Celebration.
So probably March.
Yeah, I think that's a good time.
Yeah, because they'll finish filming in February. They can drop the title in March. And at that point, too, it's like... Actually, you know what? No, I don't think it's going to be in March. That's why I think it's going to be in January or February because of this. Disney's going to have to kick off its Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. That's what it's called now. Promotional thing out in March. So you don't want to drag too much from it, in terms of news.
So why?
So you might have it be like January,
So
February.
it actually makes more sense to not do it in January and February. Actually makes more sense to just drop it at Celebration and have one giant kaboom, because that fits right between. You don't. Oh, that's right, because it doesn't come out in May.
Yeah, so it's kind of.
So you got a tight window.
Yes, that's what.
But the thing is, you don't have to. You want If you're Disney, you're worried about Captain Marvel. You are not worried about Avengers game.
Right, and then also Star Wars comes at the end of the year, so it's like drop the title, it gives a little tidbit now. A couple months later, do the teaser. Then a couple months the behind the scenes footage. Then a couple months later, the final trailer, and then the movie comes out.
That's what I'm saying. You could drop it all on the same day because you're really not worried about.
You could, but I don't want to wait till April to get some information about episode 9.
Okay,
I want the title.
That's what you want, and then we're trying to figure out what Disney's trying to do.
Well, okay, I'm thinking what they did with The Last Jedi. They did with
right.
They released it in early 2017 in January. They announced the title, and then they had an April celebration.
I think it's incredible that you know these like dates and months.
I do know.
I know the time that Twitter was announced, and we got the title for Last Jedi.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's something we could talk about actually in our next episode. Do you want to talk about what we're thinking for our next episode?
Before we get to that, didn't you want to talk about that one picture?
Oh, yes. Okay, so the, I guess second unit director or sister, I'm blanking on her name right now. I'll put that in later. But she had a mood board, and Ava DuVernay, who's another black director, female director, was visiting her and took a picture I posted on Twitter and being like, there's no spoilers in this. Well, let me tell you this. Us Aurelos on Tumblr.
They're like Detective Pikachu over there.
Right, we are Detective Pikachu. We blew up the picture and was looking at what was on the mood board, and there's like picture of the dice. There's this quote that was saying something like, beyond truth and beyond right, beyond wrong, there's another place and I'll meet you there, or something like that. And I'm like, it sounds like Kylo might meet in the middle. That's what I'm thinking. There's also a scene from Aliens where they were at the beginning of Alien when they were in like the cryo tubes. Darth Vader was wearing a pink parka.
Darth Vader was wearing a pink parka. Yes. Why hasn't that blown up?
No, it did on Tumblr. It did. Yes. And then there was also some sort of oing. So there's a lot of different things, but the quote kind of has a big deal. Like what could happen in episode 9. So we're like, see, you can't get anything past us. We know our stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But you can follow it on Tumblr because people just keep adding to the post all the time. But it could episode 9 stuff. So
let's find out.
Well, we're gonna find out time.
So what we were planning on doing, I mean, we would have announced this in November, but no, since we're getting into the holiday spirit, we were planning on doing something that we hadn't done ever. We haven't decided to go through the gauntlet that is the holiday special. We have never watched it because we're afraid.
I've seen pieces of it. But we're going to watch
I've seen clips of Princess Leia singing, but that's about all I ever wanted to see.
We watch this whole thing, so you don't have to. That's our gift for you this holiday season.
Exactly. So we expect to release another podcast before Christmas.
Right, completely dedicated to the Star Wars holiday special. So, barring that there's any, major Star Wars news that drops, at that point, it'll probably just be about our impressions of the special.
Yeah, we're pretty much we're going to try to go in with a completely open mind. Like, we don't know anything about how bad it is. And we don't know any of the characters' names like Lumpy Baka.
Lumpy.
No, wait.
He was not in Solo, a Star Wars story.
Who was, though?
It was just a random Wookiee.
It was just a random
It was a random Wookiee. We thought it was Lumpy. It should have been Lumpy, but it wasn't Lumpy. Justice for Lumpy.
What parent names their kid Lumpy?
His name's Chewbacca. He's never there. He's deadbeat dad. Of course his son's named Lumpy.
The mother named him Lumpy.
I don't know. Maybe...
Mama Baka.
Chewbacca's wife has a name. I don't remember what her name is.
Mama Baka.
Alright, she's Mama Baka. Seriously. But yeah, so that's what we do. So we're going to watch the holiday special and then give you our thoughts and impressions on it. And,
yes, thoughts and impressions.
And whether or not it's the worst Star Wars thing that was ever made.
Yeah, you know what? We'll put that up to the test. Was this worst Star Wars thing we've ever seen? Or with some of these newer movies questionable?
We'll see. We will see.
Well, by newer movies, I do not mean the new trilogy.
No, I know what you mean.
I saw your face drop when I said that.
I was like, wait, you're saying that the new movies are worse than the holiday special?
No, I meant Rogue One.
Yeah, okay, I agree. But I was like, are you talking Force Awakens to Last Jedi? Because that's not going to happen.
That looked like I'm in trouble.
Yeah, what were you saying?
That when this podcast stops recording, then I'm going to get attacked? Yeah. Not what I meant.
Yep, so that's what you have to look forward to. As your holiday gift is us talking about the holiday special and suffering through it for you.
Cheers.
Cheers. So that's it for this episode. You can follow us on Tumblr, or follow me on Tumblr at The4iJedi. You can follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @NemaOutpostPod. And you can listen to us on SoundCloud or YouTube. So until next time, may the Force be with you.
And...
Take it!